I'm going to be your game show host today. We are going to play some buzzword bingo, and this is how it goes. You take a yellow marker, and you take a business magazine, and then you start marking, all those buzzwords. Digital, transformation, digitalization, growth levers, that's a good one. Innovation management. It's and anything that has a version with it, because a version, you will know that it's the latest and the greatest, right? So Industry 4.0, you remember, Web 2.0, and that works all the time. Like Husband 4.0, hopefully the latest, and Breakfast 2.0 if you're a hobbit. Yeah. So it kind of all just blurs together and it starts sounding all exactly the same. So I thought today, let's debuzz digital and transformation together. We are already digital. If you look at people, they approach their lives with their social media profile. That's how they do things. We socialize, we exercise, we stay in touch with grandma, we research what we want to know, and we purchase what we need. Some people have friends across the world, especially in gaming, I learned, that they've never met in real life, and that they probably never will. Yeah, and if you're lonely, you can go out and look for a partner. There's a lot of platforms for that, all kinds of cases. So we are already digital. And if you cross the line up from private to professional in the workspace, well, we're already digital there as well. We create digital customer journeys, because we know our customer. They go online and they look up our products and our prices and they compare. There's online configurators for all kinds of things. For cars, yeah, we've all configured our next car. But did you know you can also configure furniture at a very famous big Swedish furniture house, for example? You can configure your next custom PC. And one thing I just newly learned is that you can actually go online and digitally configure your sneakers. They do shoes. Yeah, it makes me happy. So that's what we already do there on the customer side, but also internally we work digitally. We even work asynchronously, which means that I can attend meetings without even attending meetings. Those midnight ones with the US where they send an invite and you think, okay, that's a bit late in my day. Well, now we can just view the recording, or we can read the transcript, and then we can catch up the next day. And we feel like we're included in the workplace, even if we're not there in the actual moment. So we are already digital, and we have already transformed, because those really transforming moments, they've already happened. In technology, in the history that we've had for many years, we've had just a few that are really core transformational. I would say the phone. Yeah, that was a big change. The phone, the fax, the computer, the internet, and cloud. Yeah. Those are the really fundamental transformational moments. But I would say that everything else just builds on this. And it's like an evolution. So it amplifies the life that we already live, either privately or professionally. But it's aren't we living in this bubble already, right? So we're digital. We have transformed. So most of us have already taken the blue pill. But why is it that some companies still struggle and go like, yeah, blue, no wait, red pill. No blue, I'm sure. No, wait, red. What is it that makes it so hard for them? We're going to look at that in the AIM framework. A for arrogance, I for indecision, and M for money. Starting with arrogance. Well, it's kind of a bad thing to say about someone, but with arrogance I mean those who say, I know best. Yeah? And we've heard that many times. Yeah, knowing better than anyone else what they should be doing. And also the arrogance of thinking that the business model that I've had for many years, well, that's surely going to keep working because I'm a very big company and it will surely go on the way it always had. Now here comes an interesting one. Of the original Fortune 500 that was founded in 1955, Only 49 are still around today, which means 451, well, they didn't hear the bell, and they became history. Whereas these 49ers that still exist today, after next year 70 years, what do they have in common? Courage, adaptability. They were the ones that decided to change, decided to transform, decided to evolve. I for indecision. Yeah. So it's really hard to know where to go and where to start. So you kind of want to hide, maybe not to make a decision yet. So here's a great way to get around the decision for a while. You can plan. And you have a plan to plan the plan. And then you have to plan the planny plan. Yeah? Great document for buzzword bingo. Because that sounds all the same. And all the you're laughing. So the planning plan, great methodology if you are indecisive. And last but never least, money. It really hurts if you've been investing for many years in something, you put so much money into it, and then suddenly you realize, actually, I can't pump more budgets into this. I need to cut that off and say goodbye with love because I need to do something completely different. One of the hardest things for companies to do, because, put so much into it. Yeah, it's hard to say goodbye. Yeah. But possibly you will have to do that. Because doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different outcome, well, that's the definition of madness, which also starts with an M, money, madness. Okay. So, here's I love this story. Here's a big, bad, hairy example of a project that maybe didn't go ideally. In 1626 to 1628, all of the shipbuilders in Stockholm got together. They were in some war in Europe, and they needed a warship. And they decided to build the biggest and the baddest warship of all times, the warship Vasa. They started building a ship with what they knew, but then the innovation started. Someone wanted bigger sails, which means you need higher masts. And someone else said, it's a warship, we need brass cannons and gold, because it needs to look cool as well. So here you go, putting things in Vasa because more is more. Yeah? And on the Virgin Voyage, when Vasa sailed out of the harbor, all of Stockholm standing there going, yay! Ooh, because 1.3 kilometers later, it sank. Yeah. Now, you can think that it was because Vasa was built top-heavy, that's the reason it sank. But doesn't this kind of sound like some IT projects that we've heard about many times? Because what we have is ego, politics, people wanting things in there without checking with the baseline if it will even work. And it kind of sounds familiar in a way, because I've seen this many times, where too many people get together with their ideas and not collaborate and not communicate properly. So this is what happened there with Vasa. So, sounds familiar? So here's the thing with something like Vasa, that usually you have to be, on time and on budget, which means that it's a race. And now we're going into the biggest race of technology pretty much of all our times. Apart from the 5 transformational ones I mentioned earlier, the next one is surely AI. Now here's the thing. The age of AI is already here. It's not like something coming at some time. And being planny probably won't help you here, because whatever you are planning, someone else is already doing. And they are going to win the race, they're going to get to the top, all the while you may be deciding to get over the starting line. So it won't really help if you don't get going in the race. And here's the thing. According to Microsoft and LinkedIn's Work Trend Index 2024, which is a survey going out to 31,000 people, employees of companies across the world, 75% are already using AI. And 46% of them started in the last 6 months. That's not unexpected, but hang on a minute. If you haven't rolled out AI yet, where are they getting it? Must come from somewhere. Well, as I said, If you don't do it, someone else will. So this is bring your own AI, BYOAI. That's what's happening. And it's not just a competitive risk for you, because you're going to lose customers or employees because they choose to work somewhere where they get the support and efficiency of AI, but it's actually a big security risk, because your company information, your intellectual property, is being used to train a large language model. And someone else is prompting, and they're getting your results, your information. And this is not just speculation, known to happen, happened already, and this is not good. So this means that if you don't get going, someone else will, and they are going to win that race. So how do we break out of this cycle? Because it is a cycle. Yeah. Some of them took the blue pill, others are still debating blue, red. Well, let's reframe the AIM framework. First of all, ask questions. Don't be a know-it-all, be a learn-it-all, as we say. Be humble, be open. Figure out which questions you need to ask so that you can start on this journey, or even race, and win the race. Number 2, invest fast. Don't be a Vasa. Maybe something like a small sports catamaran could be, find a problem, solve it with AI. And if it doesn't work, well, move on and start from anew again. But it's really important that you think about all those small steps and don't try to go big at the first time, because you might think. And last but not least, make the decision. And if you don't know what the decision should be, because you don't know where to start and you don't know where to go, make the decision to find the right people around you to go on this journey, to win this race. Because they are going to bring their experience, and you can go out there together, find people that are courageous, that show you how to be adaptable, and that asks you the questions that you might not want to hear in your possible, former arrogance that we already talked about. This is how you can break that circle. So with that, coming to a conclusion, don't be a Vasa. Quit the buzzword bingo. And most importantly, is to get off the team that's scared, get off the team careful, and get on the team curious, who's going to take you into the future and make you, well, not fly, but this time sail. Thank you.